Good morning, everybody, and happy Fry, yay, as we call it in Northowram Primary School. I hope you've all had a good week. Year 1 Hawthorn, I hope you're okay. You've been doing your learning at home this week. I hope you've had a good week. Not too long now. You're coming back to school on Tuesday next week, so we can't wait to see you. Okay, let's have a little roundup of a few pieces of good work. So the first place we're going to go is Year 5 and into Year 5's art learning. And in Year 5, they have been studying an interior designer. So that's an artist who focuses their work on how they can make the inside of buildings and homes look particularly beautiful. And the person that they've been studying, I've had to write it down because I couldn't remember it, is a lady who's from London. She's still working in London now, Morag Myerscough. And actually, I'm going to ask my sister, because she lives in London, if she's seen any of Morag's work, because she has been commissioned and asked to look at some interior designs of like public places. So this, for example, is a piece of her work, often characterised by beautiful pastel colours, geometric shapes. And can you see where this is? So Morag has actually designed here the interior of a children's ward. I think it's in a London hospital. You can see those beds there ready to be pulled down, and those lovely colours, which I think would make anybody feel better if they were poorly and staying in hospital. So this was a really ingenious task. So the children were given a blank room, a picture of a blank room, and their task was, in the style of Morag Myerscough, to design the interior of that room so it would be a room that they would like. So I've got two to share with you this morning that I just think work particularly well. I think this was meant to be a bedroom. So this is Felicity's. Have a good look at that. So you can see the blank room as it started off, and Felicity has added, in the style of Morag Myerscough, some beautiful geometric designs on the wall. You've got tessellating triangles there, Felicity. They work really, really well. And then on the far wall, what does it say? Eat, sleep, play, repeat. Which would be a perfect message to have on a child's bedroom wall, wouldn't it? And again, you've gone for tessellation there. You've gone for hexagons. I think that is really effective and a really good start into some interior design work, Felicity. I think that's marvellous. I'd like that room myself. Well done, Felicity. And then we have, whose was this one? Lila's is quite different, but still in the style of Morag Myerscough. Have a look at that. I love that. Do you know my favourite part on this? There's a few favourite parts, Lila. I really like how you've done curved lines for the background here, and then you've added straight horizontal lines for your decoration there. I think that looks absolutely marvellous. And again, you've got that idea of curves with straight lines here with the squares and circles. Love this as well, how you've created that. You've a real talent for art, Lila. I also love these the rainbow staircase and the rainbow pillars. I think they look absolutely brilliant. And again, I'd live in a house like that. I could imagine that for my living room. It's absolutely marvellous. So well done to Lila. Now let's go to Year 1. And Year 1 Elder have been scientists this week. They have been conducting a full experiment into investigating the best material to keep water cool. Now that's really important, isn't it, on these hot days? And actually, if you think about it, I haven't got my water bottle. I must have left it next door to be washed up. I was telling you that my stainless steel metal water bottle was a really, really good insulator, and it kept my water cool. Probably much more so than just plastic. So metal is a good insulator in that way. Stainless steel certainly is. So the children had water bottles, and they had to wrap them in various different materials to see which one was the best insulator of heat and temperature, and which one kept the water the coolest. So I'll give you a chance to make some predictions. The children made their predictions, but I'll let you have a go. So water bottle, do you think out of these items, which do you think would be the best insulator? I was a bit surprised by this. Tin foil, so like foil. Paper, just paper. Bubble wrap. And cotton wool. So an insulator works by ensuring that the temperature is maintained. So if it was warmer outside, it stops that affecting the temperature of the liquid inside the bottle. So which one do you think? Well, first person's work is Finley's, and Finley predicted that the foil would be the best insulator, and he's gone on to talk about how he's kept the test fair, the method he's used, and his conclusion. So real scientific work here from year 1. Have a look at that. Beautifully presented. Really, really great to see our scientists starting so young. And Finley tells me that, how cold did it keep the water? Well, the foil kept the water at 16 degrees. The paper kept it at 18 degrees. I think, how long did you wait before you tested it? 30 minutes, half an hour. The bubble wrap, 16 degrees, and the cotton wool, 19 degrees. So your conclusion, Finley, is we have found out that foil and bubble wrap are the best insulators. So maybe my next water bottle design will be made of bubble wrap. I'm not sure that's practical. I think it would get torn or ripped, wouldn't it? And then well done, Finley, and well done to Jack, because again, your science experiment is absolutely beautifully written out and very, very scientific. And I'm presuming, because you did it as a class, that you had the same results. Yes, you did. I'll just read your method, Jack. You said, we put water into 4 bottles. We wrapped bottles with foil, cotton wool, paper and bubble wrap, and we waited 30 minutes before we tested the temperature. So again, wonderful scientific work there from Jack. And there, you've learned something really important there. So well done in year 1. A little bit of art/music now. We're going to for Sycamore. And I've got a couple of pieces here by Tommy. Do you remember I showed you the shakers last week? Here's Tommy's shaker, which he worked really well on, trying to get his African design around his bottle. Some lovely geometric and abstract patterns there, Tommy, and your shaker works really well. And then, Tommy, this is also your drum. Works really well. And I think you went through a whole technique here. You had to cut out some material to the right shape, and then you had to use wax crayon to add some musical notes to your shaker. And then you used like a paint splatter technique on your material and kind of wiped it away in a bit of a wax resist idea to see the pattern underneath. So some really creative work there. And then there's another drum here, a taller drum. I think they work really well, actually. And because yours is taller, Ava, this is yours, actually it makes a slightly lower sound. Let's listen again. Compared to a slightly fuller sound. It really does sound like a drum, actually, that one, Ava. And I really liked your design and all those lovely pastel colours on your drum. So well done there. Okay, and last of all today, we're going to year 4 Holly. And in history, year 4 Holly have been learning all about crime and punishment through the different times in history and looking at how the way that society deals with crime and punishment has changed. And the children's task, which they've done a really good job of, Miss Nixon was really happy with her class. She said, we've had such a lovely afternoon. The children have been so interested in this topic. And the children's task was to write about how in policing and dealing with crime, things had changed and some things had stayed the same over time. So I'm going to read you a couple. And the first one is William. Now, William's got fantastic general knowledge. He knows lots of things about lots of things, does William. And he also reads all the time because he won the most words read, didn't he? And this is William's piece of work. Law enforcements have changed over time. For example, the uniforms people wear, because a long, long time ago, there were people called watchmen. They were unpaid volunteers, so not policemen, who acted like policemen at night, and they wore a cloak and a hat with a feather. But nowadays, policemen and women wear a white shirt and a reflective jacket. They absolutely do. William, I like your handwriting. You've tried really hard to keep all of that joined. And look there, your teacher's really pleased with you. Well done, William. Excellent. So good for you. Glad you have learned so much about how crime and law enforcement has changed over time. And then Carlia has written, this is interesting, there's a few more things that have changed and things that have stayed the same. Law enforcers have changed over time. For example, the gender. In the past, only men were allowed to be police officers, whereas nowadays, both men and women can join the police force. Also, the weapons that police officers use have changed from axes to guns to truncheons. The uniforms changed too, cloaks to jackets. All police people wear hats to show that they belong to the police. Something that hasn't changed is that they all follow laws and try to keep the order. However, there are some similarities between law enforcers from the past and law enforcers now, such as their job roles. They all escort criminals to prison and they all enforce the law. So yes, some things haven't changed, still have the same aims. So well done, Carlisle, for your lovely piece of history work. Okay, so well done, children, on a good week's learning. And lots more to come of that next week and beyond. We've changed the month, haven't we? We've changed into July, so we'll have a look at that in next week's assemblies. But until then, have a really good learning day. Look after each other, look after yourselves, look after your teachers and all the members of staff. Have a lovely weekend. Look after your family too. And I'll see you on Monday morning or Tuesday if you are in 1 Hawthorn. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye for now. Bye.